Hi, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Leo. Welcome back to our channel.
Yes, and today we're going to be practicing some quiet limb poses. Our first pose we're going to start with is Adho Mukha Virasana, so on your mats.
So you might need a little bit of equipment for this sequence, and it's a lovely sequence. So here we've got 5 foam pads and a blanket. If you don't have foam pads, you can always use some other equipment, maybe folded towels or blankets to make up for those.
Okay, so extending forward, as you can see here, Leo is drawing back with the abdomen. So this is not a hard action, it's about shifting the direction of the back of the abdomen towards the spine. And as you do so, to lengthen the back of the thighs towards the heel bones and to reach forward. So if you do find that you're really stiff in this area and the buttock bones are not hitting the heels, then do place something between that area, either a folded blanket or foam block if you have some. So just be in this pose, observing your breath. Breathe from your outer hip towards your armpits, and just use this pose to settle for a few moments, quieten the mind and just being aware of your breath. Soft, slow, extended inhalation and exhalation. We're coming for Adho Mukha Svanasana, so some of you who have been following our channel will know this pose. Dog head down, so tucking your toes under and coming up. Extending back with the legs, so give those legs a really nice extension. Feed the back of the thigh. Being aware of the palms and extending down with the palms, so no gaps between the palm and the floor. And see that you're pushing the palms towards the end of the mat, although the palms are not moving. You're seeing that you are shifting the direction of energy so you get more action in the arms themselves. From here we're coming for Uttanasana, so either step or jump the legs towards the palms, and in this pose have the feet as wide as the outer edges of the mat. So be wide in this action. If you've been busy and you're just using this routine to quieten the nervous system, then have the legs nice and wide and fold the arms. And see that as you reach into those upper arms and elbows, you lift equally with those thighs. So it's a synchronized action of lifting through the front thighs. Remember, those inner thighs need to open. That is the gateway to the rest of the body. That will help with your extensions. So see that you get that really nice opening through the inner thighs from working those feet really well. So be sharp in your outer foot bones and lift your inner ankles so much. Lift those inner ankles. And see that you open the back of the thighs, lifting the buttocks, and again, be aware of the abdomen. So if you find this is quite strenuous or quite challenging, then you can put your arms, folded arms, onto the seat of a chair or even onto several stacked foam blocks. So we're coming out of the action now, so just release those hands towards the floor side, and then be mindful as you come up. Lift those pelvic rims before you even think about standing in Tadasana. Pelvic rims lifted and come up, so you engage with that center of direction. And then stand in Tadasana and just be there, be aware of your breath. So rolling your shoulders back and down and lifting that sternum chest. And again, be aware of the base of the pose. Be aware of the soles of the feet and ground down into the floor. And as this action connects you with the earth side, then lift through those legs, lift through those pelvic rims, and lift through the center of the body. Be aware of your breath and that inhalation and exhalation, broadening the rib cage, and then slowly release it. We're coming for Prasarita Padottanasana now, so this is a wide angled extension. So taking the legs very wide now. So this is a wide forward bend, so be sharp in your outer foot bones, hands on your hips, and lift through those frontal pelvic rims and roll those shoulders back and down. So engage with this upper chest region and lift it up towards the ceiling, towards the sun. So open that heart towards the sun and extend up, look up. Now take a nice inhalation as you start to extend and hinge at the hips, extending forward. So we talked about quietening the head. So in this pose, if you find it really challenging, then rest your head towards the chair. If you can go a little bit further, you can see here Leo is going further into the action, and then finally resting the head down. Now, to rest the head, then you can use a folded blanket underneath your head or a couple of foam blocks. If you can take your head to the floor without strain, then you can just be here without the props. So again, being in this pose so that you can stay in it for a few moments. And if this is too challenging for your hamstrings, your legs, then do take the head a little higher and rest it either onto a chair, stack of foam blocks, wooden brick, whatever you have in your yoga kit. So when you're in this pose, be aware of that stability in the legs, sharpening the action on those outer foot bones and lifting those inner ankles up. Push back with those thigh bones. The skin, the flesh, the muscle fibers all got to reach towards the bone side of the thigh and the thighs towards the back of the thigh. So you're really feeding the back of the leg nicely, lifting the butter bones up. So you're seeing that actually the legs are giving you tremendous support in this action. And now to come out of the action, walk your hands forward, look forward. And remember that action of the pelvic rims need to lift up first before you start moving. So see if you can lift those pelvic rims in Tadasana. You can see Leo's lifting here, and then see, can you come up? Good. And then bring those legs together, and again, stand in Tadasana. So just be aware of that inner breath, soft inhalation and exhalation. So of course now we go through the body being aware of what's happening at the base. So we have to mentally trace the energy from the base all the way up through the body. So ground down into those feet. Sharpen your heel bones, sharp in the back heel. Go and see that you lift up through those legs and lift up through the pelvic rims, rolling those shoulders back and down. And then be in a peaceful state in your Tadasana, a soft inhalation and exhalation. And eventually, as you practice more and more yoga, then the breath leaves the surface of the body and you find it deeper within. We're going to come now to some seated postures. So coming for Dandasana. So when we come for Dandasana, you have to see again, always lengthening those hamstrings, as you can see here, Leo's actually demonstrating there. Hands beside you and extending into those heels, spreading those toes and bringing those feet towards you. And as you do so, you have to see what's happening at the base of the abdomen. So the base of the abdomen is your center of direction. So once you get those legs absolutely working well for you, and then you have to see you support your spine, it doesn't support itself. So it's almost like you have to hide that lower abdominal area. Not gripping, but just redirecting to support that spine. And then to come into your Paschimottanasana, take a nice deep breath in, raise those arms up. I'm going to place this here for Leo because it's going to be a really nice soft forward bend. You may need to have more support than this. I would advise that for this practice to have something to rest your head, extending forward. So if you have a bolster handy, then you can use a bolster, or for sure you can go a little bit lower with the blankets. And just gradually letting yourself release in this Paschimottanasana. And as you are just letting the gravity release some of those tensions in the body, see that you're rooting those back thighs, the back of the legs, weight in the back of the legs so that they ground the action. And from there, still keep the length in the back of the thigh and the extension through the centre of the body. And once you come to a point where you've observed, you've traced those actions through the body, then just relax the spine towards the legs. So see that you weight the spine so it becomes weighted in the action. Be aware of your breath, your inhalation and your exhalation. And remember the broadness that the breath can create within your posture. So we're coming out of our Paschimottanasana now, and we will be preparing for a Virasana. You can see that Leo doesn't really want to come out of this action, she's having a nice time. But when you come out of this action, you can see here the back is extended and open. This is very important to keep that alignment of the spine. So we come for Virasana action now. So if you find Virasana very challenging, most people do, then do sit on a couple of foam blocks. If you find it very easy, then you may be able to sit on the floor, but there's a couple of important actions that you have to be mindful of in your Virasana, and that is the foot position needs to be going directly back, as you can see here, and the little toe side needs to be pushing down towards the floor. The shins need to ground the action, as you can see here. Leo's given a little adjustment to the legs just to make sure that she's getting the best action. So sitting in your Virasana action and just release around this area, the solar plexus, just let that whole area release. Try not to control it with extension or hardness. Just let it completely soften and be aware of your breath. So the breath broadens within the chest cavity, and be aware of those ribs extending and then recoiling. You just take a few moments to just be in your Virasana, observing your breath. From here we're going to come for Garudasana arms to prepare the back body for Halasana in a moment. So see that you come into your Garudasana, taking your left arm over your right, and then see, are you able to clasp those palms? As you can see here, Leo does this exceptionally well with her palms together. It is a very strong shoulder extension. It's a really good action to do to get the tension out of the back body. Just really opening from the base of the neck out towards the outer shoulders. And lifting those arms up, don't let them just weight down and rest onto the chest. Just be mindful of that action, and again be aware of your breath. So we're going to change the arm now. So come to the other side and extend into your Garudasana. So you may find one side feels very odd compared with the other, and one side works very well. But just keep at it, practice, be consistent in your practice, and remember that when the tension comes into the shoulders, then it does affect how we feel mentally. The tightness releases in this pose. It's an excellent one to do. Soft inhalation and exhalation. And now releasing those arms. And stretching those legs out into Dandasana. we're coming for Halasana now. So those of you who find Halasana really challenging, then you can have a chair to take your feet onto, or you can be quite close to a wall so that you can take your feet to a wall. If you're used to practicing in this way, then just get your supports for your platform. If you haven't got foam blocks, as Leah said, you can use a few blankets. You can stack a few blankets on top of one another. What's really important here is to make sure the shoulders stay on the platform. So when you go over, that you don't bounce off that platform, keep the shoulders on the platform, and then when you're ready, extending over into your Halasana. Be there. So you can see here that it takes a few moments to adjust. You've got to see that you take those shoulders back, and then a good way to help with this action is interlocking those fingers and reaching those arms back. So lengthen the arms so that you can get that fold at the very root of the shoulder. And reaching into your heels. So the pubic plate needs to move towards the leg side. So it comes really kind of in line with the eyes. And see that you push into your heels so much. Reach into those heels. And then supporting your back. So if you are a little bit stiff, or you feel that you need to be in a slightly more rested position for you, then you can place your feet onto a chair. Otherwise, be in your Halasana and be aware of your inhalation and your exhalation. And again, take your attention and observe the ribs as they broaden and release. Keep the direction of the abdomen towards the spine, and the frontal thighs moving towards the thigh bones. Keeping the back of the thighs really broad and open. We're coming out of this action now, so support your back, walk the feet in slightly, and coming down. You can take your launch pad and place it underneath your head and just wait for a few moments to just let everything settle down. After inversions, it's best not to get up straight away. Just stay in this position for a few moments. Just breathe and let the body just find its own flow and rhythm again. Okay, so we're coming now for another seated action, so coming out of your pose, coming up. So we're coming for a pose called Sukhasana now. Sukhasana. So most of you will be familiar with Sukhasana. Sukhasana is a cross-leg position, as you can see here. Leo is coming into the action. And again, you've got to be sure that this is not just about crossing your legs here, it's about lengthening the back of the thigh. So see that you're drawing that thigh back so the crease is open, so it enables you to hinge forward. So we're coming for Adho Mukha Sukhasana, so it's a full bending action. So Leo's just popped a couple of blocks here, and this helps her with this pose. You may be able to go down to the floor, but it needs to be restful. So either use a blanket or a couple of foam blocks to just rest forward. When you come forward, keep your back really nice and straight, and then gradually coming into the action. Be sure that you're supporting your forehead. If you're very, very flexible and you find this is relaxing, taking your forehead to the floor, then that's absolutely fine too. But see that when you're in this position, you're just quietening the breath, quietening the forehead, and just see that the mind becomes peaceful and quiet. poses for a little bit longer than usual. Gives you a little more time to release, rooting down with whatever is on the floor. So whatever you're in contact with, then see that you relax some of those muscles, some of those tensions, and get a really good firm base. And we're coming up now out of this action and crossing the legs the other way. And extending forward. So be sure that as you extend forward in this pose that you're not holding on to any tension. If you find that the muscle fibers are paining, then go a little bit higher with your leg, with your head. And if you're finding that actually it's difficult to go forward, then sit on a slightly higher support. You can always rest your head onto a chair. And again, when you're in this pose, root down at the base. Be aware of the length through the centre of the body and soften the breath. Be aware of the inhalation and exhalation. And just notice how gradually the breath becomes slightly deeper. So from starting the breath with the breath on the surface, it engages on a deeper level. And now slowly coming up. And coming into a seated position. Don't rush up. Just see that you sit for a few moments. Again, enjoying that quietness and peaceful mind. Sit up nice and tall throughout the spine. See that you reach through the collarbones and broaden across the front body. And again, just be aware of